Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. We begin today with knowing how dangerous it can be to drive at night around Hilton Head Island, or really any of the darkened portions of the Lowcountry. A study by the personal injury law firm Zane's Law says the state is the 5th most dangerous in the country to drive in at night. Between 2017 and 2021, probably still good now, more than half of our fatal crashes happen at night. Hawaii is noted as the most dangerous for night driving, followed by California, Florida, Texas, and then South Carolina. We often look at development in the Lowcountry through the lens of the preservationists of our natural state of life. But some developers are now tired of the delays and they're starting to fight back. Beaufort developer Dick Stewart is suing development critics Graham Trask and his father George for $120 million that Stewart says he has lost in business at his proposed Beaufort Inn in downtown Beaufort's historic district. Trask said that he hadn't seen the details of the lawsuit yet, but did say Stewart and his 303 associates have, quote, opened a big can of worms, end quote. Stewart's group has won previous suits to build the inn and a parking garage, but construction has been delayed by the appeals. Speaking of development, a research economist at USC thinks the current housing market that's kind of backed off the high demand of the COVID years is what we're looking at for the rest of this year, 2023. Joey Von Nessen thinks the demand of 2020 and 2021 was the exception, not the rule for the future, and predicts the housing market to stabilize at its current levels. Those levels are actually down 13% in June over last June, unless the labor market softens and unemployment goes up. Now, Von Nessen says housing demand in the Palmetto State and the U.S. as a whole has cooled compared to the last few summers, but shouldn't slow much more with steadier inventories and interest rates. All right, I'll ask you to use your imagination for just a moment. How would you get taller ships under the Talmadge Bridge at the Port of Savannah? Well, you could dig the channel a little deeper. That's probably what most of us would think. Or you could do what is being discussed now, actually raising the bridge itself starting next year. The Georgia Department of Transportation is taking public comment on the idea to replace the bridge's cables and joints, that need to be anyway, with new, shorter cables that would actually raise the clearance under the bridge while still keeping the bridge open. Similar projects have been undertaken on the Mississippi and Ohio rivers without long-term bridge closures. Savannah's port, of course, is the fastest growing in the country and the 4th largest port in America behind LA, Newark, and Long Beach. And more than 100,000 Travel and Leisure magazine readers are still picking Charleston as the best vacation destination in the U.S. and among the top 20 in the world. Hilton Head Island fell to 5th best island in the country as the Golden Isles of Georgia took over the #1 spot. Kiowa Island ranks 3rd. Behind Charleston as favorite U.S. travel destinations were Santa Fe 2nd, New Orleans 3rd, and Savannah #4. To show how much foreign travel is being emphasized these days, Charleston was only the 19th favorite travel destination in the world. Oaxaca, Mexico, the mole and mezcal capital, was picked #1 by Travel and Leisure readers. However, a tourism website called Trips to Discover is telling the rest of the world what a lot of people already know around here. They rank Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach among the top 17 best vacation destinations on the East Coast, citing Hilton Head's scenic bike paths, live oaks with Spanish moss, the beaches, the golf courses, pickleball, tennis courts, and also its miles of hiking trails, kayaking spots, and wildlife views. The list also includes sites from St. Augustine down in Florida to the Great Smoky Mountains to Martha's Vineyard. For more information on these and other Lowcountry stories, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. A lot of sports as we head deep into July. Going to be a really hot weekend. Let's hope the kids are safe. Here's what they've got looking ahead to this weekend. Justin, Jarrett.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Loco on WHHI, powered by LocoSports.com. The Hilton Head 10-and-under All-Stars faced a gauntlet after dropping their second game at the Dixie Youth Baseball Minors state tournament in Clemson. But the Island boys won 4 straight games to put themselves back in the mix for a title and set up a rematch with the Greer Navy team that put them in that position to begin with. Hilton Head ran the win streak to 5 and evened the score with a 13-1 rout in 4 innings Thursday morning, forcing the infamous if-necessary game for a winner-take-all championship game in the afternoon. After falling behind 6-3 after 2 innings, the Island boys rallied, and Christopher Fontana kept them in it with 4 scoreless frames in relief before Greer broke through for the winning run in the bottom of the 8th, spoiling a terrific run through the elimination bracket. Hitting the links, the 25th annual Blade Junior Classic wrapped up Thursday in Greer, and a quartet of loco golfers claimed top 10 finishes. Hilton Head Prep's Jack Cressor closed with a 2-under par 69 to place solo second, 1 shot behind champion Dawson Sabo of Greer, while teammate Cade Kraskunas tied for 8th and HHCA's Gabe Schmitz tied for 10th. On the girls' side, May River's Robin Zatrur finished 4th. The HHCA boys were representing South Carolina in the PGA High School Golf National Invitational this week in Frisco, Texas, and they ended the week in 40th place among 50 teams, with Sage Bradshaw leading the Eagles in a tie for 19th overall among more than 300 golfers from around the country. For Loco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
Coming up a little later on, we'll talk about the other things that all of us can get involved in this weekend, and we'll look ahead at and behind at the Beaufort Water Festival, which still has a little time to go. But up next, some warnings about this heat that we're having this weekend and what we can do about it here locally. Cinda Seaman joins us next.